How I cut my brushes to use them with nail art and make them really, really small by Hotpinkzebrapolish. Hi everyone, as promised, I'm going to be showing you guys a brush cutting video. I cut a very good portion of my brushes. There are some that I don't, and actually I haven't cut one in a little while just because, you know, you hang on to them and you keep using them. But I have a couple that need to be replaced. So I'm going to be showing you some brush cutting, which is something that I have been intending to make a video on for probably a couple years, and I just recently promised that I would make one. So here it is. I hope you guys like it, and these brushes that I'm cutting are going to be from Alpha Brush. They are really small to start with, so that is a good thing to begin with, just finding a nice, good, small brush so you don't have to do too much to it. But I hope you guys like this, and I hope it helps you out, and don't forget to click subscribe to see all my future videos as well. So to start with, here are the brushes. It's in a little brush, nail art brush kit from Alpha Brush, and I'll put a link to that in the description box below. So I'm going to be cutting the smallest one, the little detail brush. It's a little thicker than I normally would use for a detail brush, which is why I'm going to be just trimming it down a bit. But the other ones are all pretty nice and thin and good. So those ones I'm just going to leave as is, and I will show you all those. And the fan brush, I mean, everyone can use a fan brush. They kind of wear out, so that's always a good thing to have an extra one on hand. But here is the one that I'll be cutting, so I know that my camera's a little bit not focused right there, but you'll see it better in a second. I mean, it's a really good length for doing little lines, and it's a really good, the texture of it is really good for doing little lines. It's just a little bit too big around. So I'm going to take my fingernail clippers. This is my favorite way to do this, and just slide it down the bristles, and you'll see it kind of like pulls some of them out, and then just clip them off. This is the way that I have always cut my brushes. I've always used fingernail clippers or toenail clippers actually, and it is definitely the route that I would recommend. So just slide it down from the edge, and you can kind of see how many you're grabbing, and just cut them off. And keep turning your brush, so rotate it in your fingers just to make sure that you're not cutting it all from the same side. You want to make sure that you're cutting around the perimeter of the brush and that you're leaving the bristles that are in the center long, because you don't want to cut the ones that are in the very center. When a brush is made, it's got the longest hairs in the middle, and then they get a little bit shorter as they go out, which makes it so that your lines flow easy. And also the hairs themselves taper at the ends. This all helps to make sure that your brush stays together and that the lines are smooth. So you don't want to cut the length of your brushes. You want to make sure that you don't actually cut the ends of the hairs. You want to make sure that they stay the length as you bought them. And you also want to make sure that you are cutting around the outside so that you're leaving the hairs in the center of the brush. This is the best way to do it, and it's the most foolproof way, I think. So just cutting around with the fingernail clippers and just slowly turning the brush little bit by little bit. Now, it can always go wrong. I mean, there's always something that can happen. But if you do it just a couple hairs at a time and you keep going around and around in circles, and if you do mess up a brush from what you weren't looking for, I'm sure it can be used still for something else. Just, do just a couple hairs at a time. I don't know if you guys can see how many I'm taking off. Probably the most is 6 that I'm cutting at a time. Just taking a couple. And you can always test it. If you try a brush out for a couple days and you're using it, you're like, man, this is still too big, you can always come back and cut more off. You can't add more hairs back. So just do things progressively and slowly and carefully, and know that you can always take more off, but you can't put them back if you cut them off. So I hope this helped, and I know that this is a video that has been requested so many times, so I hope you guys all saw it, and have any questions for me, don't hesitate to ask, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!